All right, we are back where we left, exactly where we left off. And now what we're going to be beginning is part 3, which is on WD 45 in your textbook if you are following along there. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be doing a little bit more work. We're going to be adding a paragraph border, and then we're also going to be doing some shading. Okay, so we're going to be making it a little bit more decorative here, besides just adding color and size to our font. So in order to add shading and a paragraph border, what we want to do is we want to scroll up if necessary, and we want to make sure that we select that first paragraph. And it says be sure to select the paragraph mark at the end of that paragraph. So I'm going to put my cursor here, and I'm going to click Shift, and I'm going to click to the right of my paragraph marker. And you see that now that is selected, including my paragraph mark. All right, so now what I want to do on the Home tab and in the paragraph group, which is located again right here, we want to go to the borders arrow. So you're going to go to one that looks like a little box with lines in it, almost like a window pane. Hover over it and it says borders, so we know in the right place. And we want to click the button, and the gallery is going to open with all of our different options. And again, you can get that live preview just by hovering over it. All right. So what they want to do is we want to apply complete outline around the selected text. You would use the outside borders option. So here we go. I scroll down to outside borders. All right, I want to click on it. All right, and then it closes, and that black border is going to appear around the selected paragraph, spanning the width of the page. And in the paragraph group, the borders button changes to show that it is outside borders. So in other words, since the outside border was the one that we selected for this first paragraph, it is also showing the outside borders of this is also selected as well. And if you go in there you see outside borders. Okay? All right, so let me go back up there. Oops, it took it off. Let me go back there. Outside borders, there we go. All right, so in the paragraph group, it changes to show that it now has the outside border option. Now, in that same paragraph group, what we want to do, we want to click the shading, and that would be what looks like the paint can that's tipped up. That is our shading, and it even says that when you hover over it. Go to the arrow to the right, the gallery is going to open, giving you some of the options that you can look for. We saw these exact same options when we were looking at our font color group, which was right over here. So those are the exact same. Now, in the bottom row of the theme colors section, that would be this row down here at the very bottom, okay, we want the square in the 5th column from the left. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's blue, which is not surprising, and it should say blue accent 1, darker 50%. So that matches what it says. The live preview of the color appears in the document. Since that's what we want, I want to click on that, and it makes the necessary changes. Well, on a dark black background like we just applied, usually a white font will create a striking effect. And two, the other thing, it does make a nice or a striking effect, but the other thing that you've got to think about is how easily is it going to be seen in order to make it easy for the reader to read it. Okay, so you know that you're going to have to make that change. So David is going to ask me to change the font color for this paragraph to white. All right, so now make sure the Home tab is still selected, which it is, and we want to go back to the font color button, okay, which is right here. If you will recall, I'm going to click on the arrow, and right up here in the very top left-hand corner under theme colors is white background 1, and so what we're going to do is select that, and when I do, it automatically makes that change for me. All right, now the black paragraph border is hard to see with the dark blue shading. It's so funny. I was just looking at that. I was like, wait a minute, that kind of gets lost in there. So what we want to do, we want to change the border to a different color. So to make more advanced changes to the borders or the paragraph, you'll need to use the Borders and Shading dialog box. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want to go to the Borders arrow, and again, we know that this is right here. And once we do that, at the bottom of the menu, we want to go to Borders and Shading. Okay, so we're going to click on that. And once we do that, you get this options available that shows you lots of different things that you can do with it. So what we want to do is click on the color arrow. Okay, so if you'll come kind of in the middle of this box, you will see color. And it's got automatic, but what we want to do is telling us to open that dialog box. And when we do, it wants us to go to green accent 6. So I'm going to my green, and there it is. It's the very first box. So I'm going to look in the green. I wouldn't go to blue to find the green number, or the green color. So this says green accent 6, and you can kind of look down and see what these other options are, and you can see that they really do not apply. So I will go back and click that green. All right, the next thing that I want to do is I want to make it actually a little bit more noticeable. It's mighty thin right now. So I want to increase its width. So by doing that, I'm going to go and click the width arrow, which is directly below that color. Okay, and I'm going to do the drop down box, and I'm going to move to 3 point. So when I go to 3 point, I'm going to click on that. Okay. And then what I want to do is go and click OK, and let's see the changes that it makes. You can see that it made that change. Not only did it add the color, but it made it a little bit wider of a border to make it more noticeable. All right, so now what I want to do is we're going to move to the next section. We want to click in the blank area of the document so we can deselect that text and get a full view of what that looks like. I think that looks pretty good, actually. It looks very professional. All right, which is always going to be our ultimate goal. All right, so the next thing that we want to talk about in this next section is talking about the Format Painter. It really is a neat thing to do because sometimes what we have just done, we have gone through, we did the border, we did the background color, we changed the font color, we changed the font style, the font size, we put around a border. That was lots of things that we did to make that particular area of this document look the way that it is. Well, we don't want to have to do that over and over and over and over again. So that is what the Format Painter is all about. It will take all of those formatting options that we just performed, and it will take that and apply it to another set of text, exactly as you have done before. One of the neatest time savers you will find. All right, so I am in the book on WD 1.47, and what we're going to do, we're going to select the last paragraph, which I think that looks very good. What you do to the top, you also want to do at the bottom, so you're giving it an even look. All right, so what we want to do is we want to select this, including the arrow here. Okay, not the arrow, but again, the show hide here, the paragraph marker. And instead of doing all of that again, what we can do is we want to copy all of that formatting and apply it to this last paragraph. All right, so then the next thing that I want to do, I've already got it selected. Let's make sure that we go back to one page. So we're going to go to View, and we're going to go to one page. That way you can see the entire document. And we can easily see the first and the last paragraph. We want to select the first paragraph, okay, which is formatted exactly the way we want it. All right. And now, since we've done that, now we want to on the ribbon, we want to go to the Home tab. That remains selected, so you're good there. And what we want to do in the clipboard group, which is all the way to the left, we want to click the Format Painter. So when I click the Format Painter, I've activated it or I've turned it on. So now what I want to do, and if you'll look at it, by the time I hit my document right here, it actually changes to a paintbrush. Isn't that neat? All right, and so what happens is when it gets near that area that I want to do, I want to click and drag to select the last paragraph in that document. So I'm going to click and I'm going to drag, and once I do that, I'm going to let go, and voila. Isn't that cool? So this looks exactly like, has the same format as up here, but I didn't have to go and do each one of those things separately and individually. We're going to deselect that text so you can see how it all looks together. Isn't that great? I'm telling you, it's a great time saver. And it's also very good because sometimes you might forget, you know, oh, wait a minute, was this color blue or that color blue? And you end up finding yourself a little bit, maybe not remembering everything. That would be me. So anyway, the Format Painter is a really neat function that you will need to use. Okay, so the next task that we're going to do is increase the paragraph spacing below the first paragraph, okay, here, and the last paragraph. All right, so this will give the shaded text even more weight on the page, okay, better for the eye, if you will. So to complete this task, you will use the settings on the Layout tab. So let's go ahead and click on our Layout tab. All right, and there are our options there to see and look at the line and paragraph spacing button. All right, so line and paragraph spacing button. So to increase paragraph spacing below the first paragraph and above the last paragraph, click anywhere in the first paragraph. All right, that's this paragraph here. Go to the Layout tab, which we are already there. And on this tab, in the paragraph group, it contains settings that control paragraph spacing. Currently, the paragraph spacing for the first paragraph is set to the default of 0 before the paragraph and 8 after, okay, over here on the right-hand side. So in the paragraph group, we want to click the After box. Here we go, because we're changing it the one after it, okay, and we want to type in the number 42. And we want to press Enter. So we are changing that spacing between our first paragraph and our second. So after the first paragraph, we have made it 42. Now we want to click anywhere in the last paragraph, which is right here, the one that we just changed, and on the Layout tab in the paragraph group, we want to go to the Before box, and we also want to type in 42. That gives us equal space between the top and the bottom without just going in and hitting the Enter button and hoping it's the right number. It's actually more accurate. And then we want to press Enter there, and we are getting equal from both sides. All right, so that is going to do it for part 3 of this particular project. We will start on part 4 in the next video. I look forward to seeing you there. Oh, let me save it just to be on the safe side. There, I've saved my document, and that is it. We'll see you back in the next video.